my BTech from IIT Gandhinagar in electrical engineering department. And then after that, I'm doing my PhD in IIT Bombay, electrical engineering department. And I'm about to graduate in a couple of months, like 2, 3 months.
Okay.
My entire work is on design of linear motor and linear compressor for space applications. So it's mostly related to the parts that I make in the cryogenic field. Now my situation is like since I design the motors and the machines, I can always go to the normal automotive industry, and also I can go to the core electrical engineering part. But I have more interest in joining into a cryogenic fields or something that has space applicated related companies.
Uh-huh.
Then I figured out like most of the defense companies in the world are in US, at
Uh-huh.
least the top 5 or the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the companies that and the extension of their companies, they only handle the maintenance part in the India.
Yeah, manufacturing, maintenance, Q&A, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not know how to crack any defense company or a space related company in India because I cannot directly get an offer in US or a UK
Yeah, that would not be possible because you're not the citizen.
citizen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So now I'm just confused. Should I change my entire field or should I work in the area which I'm interested? How do I convert my whatever the PhD work I've done into a career field or aligned field?
Mm-hmm. So if I understood your question is, what you're saying is your goal is you want to work for a space defense companies,
Aerospace.
yeah, aerospace companies, the usual four ones, I guess, Lockheed,
Yes.
Raytheon, Collins, and Boeings, and all those, right?
Yes.
And so let me ask you, and I mean, if you already know that it's not possible for you to get a job in these companies in US,
Hmm.
I think there's a well-known fact for you, right? You already know that.
Yes.
If your answer is there a way to do it? My answer is simply no. It's just
Okay.
not possible because you are not a US citizen. So for you to get a job in Lockheed and Boeing in US is not possible.
Okay.
There is a zero chance for that. Okay.
Okay.
You have to be a US citizen or a green card holder to do so.
All right.
Okay.
Uh,
Even if you come here as a postdoc, it would not be possible because you
okay.
have to be a US citizen. I have to be a US citizen until, and I'm talking about eligibility criteria. That's their
Hmm.
eligibility criteria. You have to be, it will be very clear in that either you have to have most of them, I would say 99.9 would ask for a citizenship or a green card. So for example,
Yeah.
if you apply for a job in Tesla, the chances are you are eligible. Whether you can get it or not, that's a separate story. But SpaceX, it's not possible. You are not even eligible. That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's say, for example, is if there is a way for you to come to US, whether it's through postdoc or something, and if you think that will that will help you, the answer would be no. The answer would also
Okay.
be no if you change your discipline. Because as I said, the eligibility criteria is you have to be a US citizen.
Okay. Uh, so then the other option is like I have to look for any startups
Yeah, I mean, as I
in
said,
the.
as far as you can look for jobs in India, whether they are startups, whether they are Tata, Lockheed, or Tata, Boeing, all that is open. I'm talking about specifically in US. Even the startups in US won't entertain.
Okay.
The I would say the best possibility for you to closest to closely work in a place which corresponds to space or aerospace would be JPL.
APL. Okay.
Not on the connection. So it's really a big.
So, as I said, that would be JPL, because JPL does allow
Yes.
people to work as a postdoc, but they are
Okay.
not a JPL employees. They are Caltech employees. So what they do is they hire people through Caltech.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you work at JPL, but you get paid through Caltech. You understand my point?
Okay.
So essentially,
Uh-huh.
you are a postdoc at Caltech, but you work at JPL. That's the
Okay.
closest. That's the closest that you can go, and you can get it. And I think that's a good place to work it, looking at what you have done, looking for, and what you want to do. It will give you a good exposure. But if you want to if you want to become an employee of a NASA, who is what is JPL, you have to be a US citizen.
Yeah. Mm. Okay.
And
So
all the companies, I believe, I can talk about US, but I'm pretty sure it's very true for UK also. Especially if there are ITR issues, no company allows you to work on.
okay.
And I can, as I said, I will give you my example. Until and unless I became a US citizen, I was not even eligible to work for
Oh,
Lockheed. I became a US citizen after I finished my PhD, and then, and not even a green card, a citizenship. And then I was eligible to apply, and then you get lucky to get a job. That's how it is. Because, but then the reason I say lucky, because everybody is good. I'm not saying I'm exceptional. It doesn't put me in exceptional position. It's just put me that now I am good, but now I'm eligible also, so I can compete. You're not even allowed to compete. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
So don't waste your time.
Yeah.
As I said, the
Good.
closest that you can do is apply for a postdoc. If you go to JPL website, there is
Yeah.
the list, there will be a list of postdoc opportunities there. Apply those. And I know there's a guy. Who is in my LinkedIn, and he just went last year there from India and he's a postdoc there. They call it a research scientist or something, but I'm pretty sure it's like a postdoc. But he works there now.
Okay.
He used to be some sort of a professor or something in some university, MIT University or something. MIT University.
MET.
Yeah, something like that. He did work on bioastrology or something like that. But I mean, he built. I'm pretty sure he built up his profile like that. But that's the closest you can get, and you will find a lot of people who are working like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so then, what should I look? So basically, US, so look, by what you're saying, any space program would be an
Any
ineligible.
space, defense, aerospace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So then,
that's why I made a clear example. You can work at Tesla. You are eligible, but not a SpaceX. Although it's owned by the same person, right?
yeah.
Yeah. That makes clear.
So then I should rather look for opportunities in India. That's one way then.
Yeah. I mean, as I said to you, you have done, I think I saw your CV is very impressive. You have done all the hard work. It looks a very sincere hard work. For me, if I and you have ticked all the right checks and marks and boxes. If I was you, and if I'm passionate about getting an exposure and all that, applying at JPL is not a bad thing. It's one of the best places to work. Trust me. They do all the work that NASA does. If you look at all the Mars Curiosity rover and all that, it's done by JPL. So they are the cream of the cream. So just remember that. But then these days in India also, you have companies like who work Skyroot and a lot of startups and ISRO and all that. I think the India's there's a fair amount of collaboration is going to happen between US Space Agency, NASA, and ISRO. Just now, if you Google it, they just finished a satellite contract, and I think the satellite got shipped to India from JPL. They have a coconut breaking ceremony actually in JPL, I think 3 weeks back. I forgot the name of the program, but if you Google it, US India ISRO NASA collaboration, something like that will come up. They launch a climate. They're trying to launch a climate satellite altogether. They call some, I forgot the name of the program. It started with letter N.
Nicer satellite.
Yeah. So if you read about that, you will find that there are a lot of people from ISRO and a lot of people from JPL that are involved in working together with that program. So I think the JPL if I understood correctly, the JPL put the satellite together, and they shipped it to India and is going to launch from India. So what I'm saying is there are a lot of collaborations that are going to happen now in every scale. Actually, you will see whether it's space or defense. There are a lot of opportunities, I believe, in India. But as I said, I don't know what what you want to do, and whether you will be at the right place at the right time. That's also important. Yeah. So as I said, keep that eyes open. But I won't disregard the opportunities are in India also. And as I said, you have checked the right boxes. You have been to Gandhinagar, you have been to Bombay. I mean, that's the best that you can do in terms of education, right? And then you have worked also. So yeah.
And,
But
yeah,
don't put unrealistic expectation.
And I wanted to ask, as a career point of view, joining a startup would be a better option, or a big company would be a better option, like a Boeing India or a Airbus India?
So, if I have to ask you, I will tell you a very simple analogy on that. In early stage of your career, you must and you should take risk. It's a well paid. It's a highly paid at the end. So what does that mean is working at the early stage of career in startups, you learn tremendously because you can take risk. Let's say, for example, the startups closes, you still can find another job. But at 50, you can't leverage that. So when I started my career, I worked for a startup. And that I learned a lot. I think still I owe that job. I worked there for 5 years. And the amount of things I learned, the amount of contacts I made, the amount of roles and responsibility that I held would be same as a VP of a big company. Because at a startup, you are sweeping the floor to you are making decisions and you're talking to the CEO. That's what it is basically. So you learn so much, you have no idea. So early failures are good things. So you want to work at a place and you want to fail as early as possible because failure will come no matter what. People work for Microsoft for 20 years and then what happened to them? They lost the job, right? My point here is early failures are good things. They are something called bad failures and good failures. Good failures are early failures. At 22, if you fail, you think something can like your world is done. They cry like a baby, but that's nothing, right? But at a 60-year-old, if your job is done, you're done. Nobody's going to hire you. And those early stage struggles, the early stage, that's why they say there is a saying in India, right? If you are a student, you should go through the hardship. That's the whole idea, and not at a 60-year-old. So that's what my advice would be is try to first of all find a startup that you're passionate about. So for example, if again, I'm throwing an example. Let's say there's a startup called Skyroot and you're passionate about propulsion. And you think that they need something because they are really having a hard time in launching to the higher Earth orbit. They can't do it. And you think that is where you have to go because you can make such a big difference. You have no idea. But if you go and work for Boeings and this, you will be one of those people. You will be taking instructions from your boss that from day one. You will be a dog on a leash on day one. And then what happens? Your creativity dies, everything dies, and all that. That's how my experience has been. Somebody else might tell you different, but that's how I see it. Because what happens is, one thing I have learned in my career is, no matter what, the failures will come. Nobody in the world can say my life is going to run like this. Even the ECG is like this.
Yeah.
So nobody can say, oh, I'm going to join this job unless until, it's a government job and you are working for, and you are done for your life and all that. But then who wants to do that? Who wants to go to work for a public sector anyway these days? But because, the reason is very simple too, because the risk and rewards are zero. There's no risk and there is no reward. Here, at least that if you do good, the rewards are huge. That's why these startups are coming and all that, right? So just give it a good thought.
Yeah.
But finding a right startup is important. Just don't join anything. Learn about their finances, like what's their income statement is. If you get to know how much valuation they have, how much funding they have gained, because you don't want to go to startup and after 3 months you are like, we are packing up, right? At least they have to
Yeah.
have vision. First of all, I would say they have to have a vision. The vision is number one, because the vision will drive you. And it's not about money. The vision will drive you, not the money. The vision would be like, for example, we want to become the first company in India to launch this into moon. That's a vision to me. They have to have a vision. Because if there are companies who have no vision, all they're talking about, we have our evaluation and this and that, you will find, like, I was talking to a student just before you, one of the students, he had a degree in aerospace from India and he started working for Amazon. And after 2 years, he's saying, I can't work here. You don't want to have that feeling. Right? So yeah, exactly. There's the same thing. So do your right due diligence research. and another thing I will tell you, because it seems to me that you're a guy who can make products. And I have a huge respect for those people, because I can't. I can talk, but I can't make products. If you ask me to put two gears together, I will fail miserably. You can make the product that I can hold in my hand. That's a huge value to you. So what happens is, let's say you work on a startup, you might develop your own ideas and you might think, oh, why can't I do the same thing? And you might have your own thing, own gig. And what's better than that? That's a dream for every person. Right? So when you work for a startup, you learn all those finances, the business development part of it, all that. You learn everything, because there will be 20 people. And as I said to you, you are the guy who is a watchman. You are the guy who's going to sit and make decisions. So you learn a lot. And don't let that skill, Modi bolte na, learn a skill. I think I think it's very important, in my opinion. Learning degree means nothing, man. If you know how to make a good samosas, just imagine how much revenue you can generate. People will flock you, right? That's the skill. That guy, I mean, you can imagine, people have degrees and degrees and degrees. What that degree means, if you're not able to deliver, if you can't even, that's the one thing that I learned when I was when I came to US is, people here, even the high school student can go put up a car together in a garage. And then that's why they are able to make these wonderful things. I mean, read what Elon Musk used to do when he was a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that everybody can be like that, but look at Steve Jobs, or look at every person, whether it's Ford, every person who started that thing. If you find they were the guys who at 10-year-old or 20-year-old, they were putting things together. And for you, that is a huge deal, man. Don't leave it. Not many people have that. Trust me. Everybody these days like to play with computers. And then when the time is not far when Chat GPT is going to replace them, and then they will be like, we are good for nothing. For you, if you put a hardware and a software together, that's like awesome. That's like, think what you can do with that. Think what are the problems that you can do, and that's what I'm saying. If you work at a startup, I personally feel, I looking at your CV, looking at what I'm seeing, if everything is true, you might be able to do something on your own. And of course, everybody have their family situations, circumstances, and all that. But that's you have to worry about that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to ask one final question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like all my seniors have given me an advice. The first company that you choose after your PhD might more or less decide your career path. How true is that?
He said more or less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't say completely.
Yeah.
But I would not disagree with that person.
Okay.
I would not disagree with that person. I think that person is very close to reality. And I will tell you an example. Let's say, for example, I joined Lockheed, okay? And I work for a defense sector. I'm making missiles and all that knowledge that comes into making F-12s, F-16s and all, right? Tomorrow I decide, oh shit, I want to work for Apple and make Apple Watch. That's the electronic sector, commercial, right? They're not going to hire me. Simple example. But then the question comes, how do you manipulate around that? That's what I said, skill set. Degree is, don't project yourself that I'm an aerospace engineer. Project yourself, I'm a guy who can make motors. So what happens then? You are good for aero, good for everything possible that you can imagine, from making a vacuum pump to a Roomba to everything. Do you understand my point?
Yes.
So when you put your CV out, your skills should see your skills. I mean, imagine if a guy knows how to do coding. Can you say that guy is only gonna do work for Amazon? I mean, that guy can. I mean, right? These days, the world is like, So what I have done is, whenever I talk to someone, I always say what my skill set is, not what I work in. I said, I'm a materials guy, and you give me a problem, and I can solve it, and I don't care what industry it is. That's a good pitch. And that is the pitch that you should also use, because that's a reality also. Aerospace degree has what meaning? There's no meaning. I mean, aerospace engineering degree doesn't mean that tomorrow you can build F-16, right? That's the reason I said. But if I ask you, can you develop a motor for iRoomba? You might be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah. But so the way I moved around is, I said, I'm a guy who works in the area of energy, materials, and I am good in a division called energy storage and energy conversion. So if you're looking for batteries, whether it's running for UAVs, cars, aero, I understand those systems, and I can help you out the problem no matter what. And that's how I go. And that's a very good to position yourself, market yourself. Never say I am an aerospace engineer, or never. Your CV can do much more when you're gonna say, I can do many other things. Yeah. So keep that in mind, and that is actually your strength. That's your actual strength also. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's how you can move around.
Yeah.
Because that's the way. Now if I go to Apple and I say, hey, you have a problem in your aluminum casing that you use for iPad, I can figure it out, because I'm a materials guy, and I know how the dyes work, and how the material plastically deform when you remove the dye. What happens? I understand the forming part of it. And they say, yeah, you are the person. I don't have to tell them that I don't have to project them, I work for defense company. They're going to say straight away, no.
Yeah.
So keep that, what you say, how you're going to project yourself. Now you're going out. So that's what I'm saying. Find a passion, and then see how can you use that. And that's the beauty of education, is if you are able to make a difference, of your knowledge in 100 areas. That's what I say. One thing I always tell everyone, these days, every student should have a picture of Elon Musk in their desk. Look at that guy. From Neuralink to SpaceX to Tesla to Boring Company, you name it.
Yeah.
Do you think he has a degree in civil engineering? No. Do you think he has a degree in aerospace? No. Do you think he has a degree in automotive engineering? No. Do you think he has a degree in computer science? No. That's how the world works, man. That's how the world works these days. If by your skill set, I can make a big difference in how I can do robotic surgery on my patients. That's it. That's what the out of box thinking is, in my opinion. So that's how you have to think now from what you have gained, what the knowledge you have.
Okay.
It's a deep process, deep thinking, but you spend a lot of time in your education. So you should, if you're gonna do the same thing as a BTech guy, what's the point? Right? So spend some time thinking, spend some time. As I told you, let me summarize now. So the JPL idea is not bad. It's going to give you, if you get into there, just go. No doubt. I'm telling you, you will learn a lot. And then also keep thinking about the startups, as I said. Look at what suits me, what I want to do. And in the meantime, also think about what knowledge you have, what skill set you have. Can I put something together and do something? And bring something out? Can I do something? Can I do a job better, which is already being done? And it will be your garage, I would say, hobby, but that's how IBM's and all these companies started too. And you never know. But think outside the box also at the same time. So plan A, B, C. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I think I'll sit down and I'll try to figure out.
Yeah.
What's
As I said,
the path I have to take.
yeah. And as I said to you, if you take any leap or big decision, then just don't think that it's easy to get, because it's going to put you more responsible also. All these CEOs, they don't get sleep because their employee has to get paid.
Yeah.
Right. So just
Sure.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think most of my questions are cleared.
Cool. I hope as I said, I'm not trying to discourage you here, but I hope you understand.
Yeah.
I
No,
want to
I
give you
want
the
to
right
get it.
information, and hopefully this conversation helps you. And keep in touch. Hopefully,
Yeah, sure.
I said, you look to me a very passionate person, and you have done all the right checkbox. So it's now, it's like, how should I say? Like you made this product, which is your career, and now it's for you to sell it, market it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Keep in touch. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for guiding.
Yeah.